Christmas is officially over, which is kind of sad as it is my favorite time of the year. But I thought it'd be fun to share the 11 books that I got for Christmas, as well as the fun and beautiful tote bag that I got. Also, I am definitely going to be using this bag a lot. It is so beautiful. I love vintage looking things. So, the first three books that I got for Christmas were historical books. And I am a person, and I come from a family of people, we love to read historical books. We love learning about a lot about history. We love watching documentaries, things like that. And history is one of my favorite things to read. And so, yeah, I would say probably, um, I would say almost half of my bookcase at this point is something historical. Whether it's like a time in history, a former first lady, former president, etc. I just love reading books about history. I just find them so fascinating. And yeah, plus some of the books that I actually already have in my to be read list, which is just never ending, and I'm sure all book lovers understand that, are also historical, which I just love. And I also feel like historical books are a really good palate cleanser for me, when I'm in like a reading slump, because somehow, for some reason, anytime I read a historical book, I feel like it pulls me out of a book slump. So that's like my go-to when I don't really want to read anything, but I also want to read something, if that makes sense. All right, last step for the historical books was Eliza Hamilton. Like I said, I love a book about a historical person here. And then the rest of the books that I got for Christmas, they are not historical. So what I do is, before I purchase anything, before my family purchase any new books for me, I am always researching everything, like double, triple, everything checking, because I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I do not read spice. Everyone has their own personal, what they like to read, the personal preferences on that. No judgment there whatsoever. I just don't like to read spice. And I know that there are a lot of people who are always on the hunt for good books that have no spice in them. Me as well. So, yeah. I'm really excited to read this book, The Forgotten Garden. The cover is really, really pretty. Next up was Once Upon a Broken Heart. This book, I've heard a lot of really good things about it. They say it's a really good book for people who don't like reading spice. So I'm very excited. I am a little nervous because this, I feel like, is out of my comfort zone with what I normally read. But if I like it, I'm probably going to get the second book. I always do the first book of the series first, see how I like it, and then we decide if I want to continue the series. Next up is Shady Hollow. This was actually something that we saw on Instagram, and they talked about how they had read it with their children, and so I figured I was safe to go on this one with this book having like Zippo spice in it. So yeah, this seems like a very good series. And again, if I like this first book, I'm probably going to get the second book. And the next up was The Secret Christmas Garden. This is apparently a very good mystery, which I love. And by the way, like a little side note, I am probably not going to read all of these books right away. I do have quite a few books on my to be read list in general, and so I'm probably going to be mixing these in like throughout the year in 2026. I'm also not going to be starting any of these newer books until 2026 because I'm currently reading a book on my Kindle, which I'm really liking it, and I'm actually almost halfway through it. Well, probably by the time you're seeing this video, I'll be halfway through the book, and I want to finish that first, and then obviously do a book review on that in the beginning of the year in 2026, and then we'll go from there. So next up is another book of like the Percy Jackson series. I love this series, and this seemed to be, this book caught my eye. I'm probably going to take the cover off. The cover I am not loving, to be honest, but yeah, I'm really excited for this. Like I said, I really liked the Percy Jackson series. And then the last two books, these were actually found in the kids section at Barnes & Nobles. So a little tip here, for anyone who does not like reading spice or has a hard time finding books like that, but you want something really fun that will just like pull you into the story, look in the kids section at the bookstore, because that's usually the place that has that type of stuff. And so yeah, they have some pretty good reads there. I think we found one of my favorite series, which was The Land of Stories, in the kids section at Barnes & Nobles. So yeah, just a little side note for anyone. So that was my book Christmas gift haul for 2025. I am very excited for all the videos I'll be making in 2026, and that is it.